You're like a lot taller than me, actually. No, but look at that. When did you get taller than me? Or is it just the bum?
Maybe it's the bum.
It's just the bum.
I think it's the bum.
Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today I have yet again a special guest!
It's me.
It's Julia, my baby sister.
Not that baby anymore.
Yes, tiny baby, tiny baby. You guys usually love when Julia hits the channel. I think you like her more than me, potentially. Who can blame you? Also, lots of you think she looks like Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, can you guys please explain? Because I think it's a huge compliment, but I just don't see it.
So, welcome back to my series, Book Chat and Chill, where I hang out with you guys and have a low-key chat about books, and we just chill together. So, get yourselves ready, make yourself some nice coffee, sit down, relax. We're going to be making some coffee together, and then we're going to be sitting down to talk about some books we've recently read, because Julia also likes to read. We're going to talk about them. Do you have anything you want to mention before we get into it?
No, I want snacks.
You want snacks?
I want snacks.
We'll see what I've got. Hi everyone, before we get into the rest of this Book Chat and Chill episode, I'm here to thank today's sponsor, which is our friends over at Book of the Month. Book of the Month is an online book service for readers like me and you. They are popular and fast growing as they are helping readers discover the books that they love. Their team goes through many new releases each month and makes a curated selection of new and early release titles, and you can then pick one of the books to read. No more endless browsing around looking for a new read, they got you covered. They ship to the US and Canada and are also risk-free. You can skip any time, any month and not be charged. Plus, they have the best price for new release hardcover fiction. In fact, you can get your first book for only $9.99 using my code Leora. And let's now take a look at the books I picked for this month. So of course we have a witchy read because it's October and I'm in my witch mood. This is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This is set to be a deeply atmospheric story about ancestral magic, a second chance at true love, and an unsolved murder. So that sounds absolutely amazing, and also that cover is stunning. Another one I was super excited about is Sign Here by Claudia Lux, because I think this is about somebody who works in the offices of the devil. So they work for the devil, but it sounded like it was like in a cubicle in an office. So this is a darkly humorous novel about somebody who works in hell, like I said, so they literally work in hell. And he can get a super big promotion only if he gets one of the members of a super wealthy family to sell their soul to the devil. So that sounds amazing. Can't wait to pick this one up. Very excited about these October picks. There's a few more you can pick from. So don't forget to head on over to bookofthemonth.com and check their selections out with my code Leora and get your first book for only $9.99. What else could you wish for? Now, let's get back to the video and I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. Maybe you can entertain them while I make coffee. Maybe you can start off by telling some people about what you've been reading recently and whether you've liked it. Because I've heard that you're listening to One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston.
True. Yes,
like
I
I've
really
heard
do like
people are saying that you've been listening to that.
Saying
yeah, in the hallways, people are rumouring.
You hear whispers.
Yeah, I hear whispers in the walls.
No, I've been listening to One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and I've been really liking it so far. It's about a girl who just moved to New York, a whole new phase of her life where she meets a lot of new people, new friends. She starts a new job at a pancake restaurant.
That was so French. You were like, restaurant.
Restaurant. But she takes the train and she meets this girl on the train, and from there on, it's a mystery. But it's a whole lot of fun.
It's romance, right?
Yeah, it is a romance. Yes. But it's also kind of a mystery, so that's nice.
I've read it as well, but there's also time travel in it, right? Which is what I liked so much.
Yes.
Okay.
But I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know.
Okay. Do you have any favourite characters in this book?
I think the clairvoyant guy, I don't remember his name.
Nico or something.
Yeah, Nico. And the drag queens, of course.
The drag. Oh right, I forgot about. How did I forget about the drag queens? Yes.
I love them.
Would you like your coffee iced or regular?
Iced.
Iced.
Yes.
It's a coffee dance.
Do you guys just love Leora's house? Every time I come here, she has so many nice little trinkets, and I'm always just touching stuff. And like, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I want this too.
Yeah, I can't stop buying trinkets. I have an issue.
It's giving me real McDonald's vibes. I don't know.
I really feel like I'm preparing like a toddler a drink or something. Like the way you're holding it and just like looking at it. It's like, yes, mummy. I'll get the lid on. Who's the toddler? It's me.
Yeah, it's you. I'm just just holding it for you. You can say, no, mommy, I want to do it myself.
Okay, so we've sat down to do some talking about the books and to drink our iced coffee. Hope you guys got yourselves a nice snack or drink as well.
Okay, but first, what are you currently reading?
Okay, so I'm reading Crusade In Jeans by Thea Beckman, aka Kruistocht in Spijkerbroek.
Yeah, so lovely.
Yes.
You always used to read it when you were younger.
Yes, this was one of my favourite childhood reads, which is a little bit wild, actually, because this is one of the most gruesome books I've ever read. Genuinely, there's like 20 children dying every page. That is not an exaggeration.
No.
This is basically about Dolph, who time travels back to the Middle Ages. His plan is to see a cool tournament with some knights and stuff, but accidentally he ends up in a children's crusade, and he decides to walk the crusade with them as he is lost in the past, so he can't get back to the present. This was written in 1973, and this is a Dutch children's classic. It's been translated as well. It's a very famous book. A movie was made about it as well. The movie was one of our favourites as children.
Yes, it was.
So have you ever read this book?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I thought you did, actually.
No.
So I think the first time I read it, I was definitely too young. Because like I said, it's extremely gruesome. They deal with disease, they deal with children being stolen and put into slavery. They deal with a lot of horrible subjects. But I think widely this book is much of like a critique on humankind. It's also very critical of Christianity, but it is definitely sort of a Christian story because obviously it's about a crusade and about these children. So it's got some themes and some things in there that are definitely like a bit old and that I think an author maybe wouldn't put down the same way these days.
Maybe I should read it after you.
But it's very philosophical and it's definitely an interesting read. It's a bit boring though, like it drags on.
Is it?
Well, it's like, I don't know, it's written in a sort of detached way.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, I'm feeling it, but I think that's also because I'm already attached to this story because I read it as a child. So I don't know how it would be if you would just read it today.
Yeah.
It's a very historical story. There's lots of historical facts and interesting things in here. But it's not all really woven into the story as well. So it's very descriptive, and a lot of times there just won't really happen anything for a couple of pages. They're just walking and children are dying and everything's horrible. And that'll just be a couple of pages.
Okay.
But the way it's been written is very engrossing and it does keep you want to read. So it is definitely a very interesting read. I've read over 200 pages in 2 days. So would you ever pick this up?
Lovely. Yeah, I was just thinking about when you were talking about it, maybe I should read it when you're done. Take it home with me.
Oh no, I have another copy. You
you do?
Yes, I do. Because this is the copy from the 90s, and I really like this one. It has a very classical look.
Pretty.
But I also have the movie tie-in edition, which is ugly, so you can have that one.
It's the one with the jeans in the photo.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, let me go get it.
Okay, so this is the movie tie-in edition. Yeah.
It's so ugly.
Yeah, it's not a stunner. No. So in the movie, he goes back from 2006 to the Middle Ages, but in the original story, he goes from 1970-ish because it was written in 1973.
Okay.
It's one of the stories that got me into time travel, just like Back to the Future.
Yes.
And I'm big on time
I
travel.
get that.
Both of us have been heavily
You are.
influenced by our dads because he used to...
He loved Back to the Future.
Yes.
He was absolutely obsessed with it. Also because he plays guitar. So that first scene, it blew his mind when he was like 17 years old. He saw it with my mum. And when we watched it, he was so excited about it, and we were too, and it's all the time. It's just amazing.
And then in Back to the Future 2, when they go to 2015, on the actual day of 2015, we rewatched it all together. Do you remember?
Yes, we did.
It was such a good time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so what other books did you bring with you today?
Okay, I have quite a few. Made a little selection.
You made a little selection.
A little selection. I have Daisy Jones and the Six. I read this in the summer of 2020, so it's already a while ago. Red, White and Royal Blue. I think autumn 2020.
How do you actually did you log all of this on Goodreads or did you just know when you read it?
Know it.
That is
I just know it.
I could never.
Oh, you do, because you talk about it all the time. When
Yes,
you have
but
certain memories
Yeah.
attached to a book, and these have a lot of memories.
Mhm.
Black Veins. I think this was also spring 2020, January 2021.
I don't think I had it back then, so I'm not sure if you read it in January.
January.
It came
Well,
out.
that was in May.
It came out in May, and I read it in April because I got the art.
No, then it was May.
Probably, yeah.
It felt like January to
It
me.
felt like January.
Then I have the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and that was summer 2020.
Yes.
Yes. And we also have the video online where we read it together.
Oh yeah, that's
The beach.
true. Yes. Which one of these are you most excited to talk about?
I think the 7 Husbands and Malibu Rising, and then of course the Black Thing.
Yes, I'm so glad you
Yes.
also really like this one.
I really
Because there's
did.
not a lot
It
of
was
people talking about this.
Amazing.
Yes.
I think I liked it better than definitely than Daisy Jones, and maybe a little bit better than Red, White, and Royal Blue. But that's just because of the friendship dynamics. They're so amazing. How each character is just so real, so alive. They're so in depth.
For me, when I read this, it was huge. I really enjoyed it.
Yes,
I
I
liked it a
remember
lot.
when we were FaceTiming and you told me I should read it, and then she told me she cried about it.
Yes, I did.
It was about a big sister dynamic,
Mhm.
and she was very emotional. She said, "You have to read it. You have to." And it's also, I have it before it comes out, and you have to read it.
Yes.
And I came home. She gave it to me. I got home. I read it, and it was amazing. I truly loved it. The sister dynamic.
Mhm.
I get that you cried, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't, because I think it is because I am the little sister.
Yes. And it's very much about Nina, like, sort of deciding to start living for herself and not
Yes.
for her siblings.
Yes.
And I've definitely felt responsible for you because I just want you to be happy so badly.
Mhm.
So it was very interesting to read about this. How did you feel about Kit's storyline?
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was amazing because she was always like a little bit of the underdog. She didn't
Mhm.
really know who she was or
Yeah.
what she really was into, or well, she did know what she was into, but it wasn't the same as her
Surfing.
big sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she always, I think she felt like a little bit of an outcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, she went to her big sister, as I used to do, and she was like, "Can you dress me up? Can you make me pretty? We're going to a party."
No, this is a lie. You just stole my clothing.
I did that too.
Yeah.
But I also went to you. I just knocked on your door and it was
Yeah,
like,
true. You've done that as well.
Can you put makeup on my face?
This is actually reminding me because I've recently read a book which was also big on sister dynamics. It's called Booklovers,
Okay.
and it's a romance between a book editor and a literary agent who pitches the books to publishers.
Mhm.
And they fall in love in a small town, but it's also about the literary agent and her dynamics with her sister and their relationship. And I also really thought of you when reading it. It was very interesting, and it was a
Maybe
really
I
good
should
book.
read that one too.
Yes, definitely. And I've also seen you around the house with, what is it called again?
Serpent
Serpent and Dove.
Yes.
By Shelby Mahurin or something?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen you reading that one. And
Yes, I finished it.
yeah. And since I've not discussed that on this channel, so maybe that's also an interesting book to talk about.
Yes, I've also read the second part, but I'll talk about the first part. It's amazing. It's about witches. It's about the difference between the blood witches, like the red witches, and the dame blanches is what they're called, like the white witches.
That just reminds me of pudding. Yeah, sorry.
The pudding in your fridge.
The pudding
Yeah,
witches.
no, it's about the witches, and it's about this girl, and she's like almost living on the streets kind of thing, and she's just fighting for her life, and she dresses up like a man to be safer around town, and she has this friend Coco, and she's a rat witch.
Wait, what is the friend called? Go-go?
Coco.
Oh, I thought you said...
Coco.
I thought she said the Dutch word
No.
for kitchen.
No. No.
Her friend, Go-go.
But it's about Louise, and she's the Dame Blanche, the White Witch, and they.
The pudding witch.
You can't see that they're witches with the Dame Blanches, but with the Red Witches, they cut themselves to get their magic
Oh.
from their own blood. So you can see the scars on their bodies, and Coco is a Rat Witch, so you can't see that Lou is a witch, but you can't see a Coco.
That is kind of
And they're-
heavy, right?
Yeah, they are really good friends. They
It's
also
very-
have the witch hunters, and then it's an enemies to lovers, so that's amazing.
It's enemies to lovers?
It is. You should read it.
I
You
did
should.
not know. Yeah, you don't own them, do you?
No,
No?
You can read it on script. You can listen
that's
to
true,
it. I
that's
did
true.
that too in the end.
Yes. I think I remember some book she was talking about France and like that they loved the setting.
Yes, it's amazing. There are also some French words through the story,
Oh,
and
really?
sometimes I have to Google like, what's this mean? Just because I'm curious.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about part 2, but part 1 is amazing. But I was just really into the story.
Yes.
Just didn't want it to end.
But it's sometimes you just get attached to the characters
Yes,
and then you don't want
do.
to stop reading.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I'm also currently listening to an audiobook. I'm listening to Craigslist Confessional, which is sort of a collection of different stories And it's basically this woman who stopped working as a lawyer and she put out an ad on Craigslist. She was like unhappy in her job, but she's an immigrant. So she also felt really pressured by her parents to choose a good life and like a good paying job. So she felt like she couldn't follow her heart. So whilst she was still working as a lawyer, she put up this ad on Craigslist for people to just confess their stories to her. So it could be anything that they are like, that like weighs heavy on their heart, anything that's bothering them. Like if they cheated, if they did something horrible, if they went through something horrible, or maybe they went through something amazing, or maybe...
Kind of like a confession booth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people started sending her in these stories, and then she met up with them to listen to them. And at first she just listened to them and talked to them, but then at some point she was like, this is actually really interesting stuff to write down. So she started writing about it, and then she got a column, and she started publishing the stories. Then she quit her job as a lawyer and decided to write.
Okay, but how do the people feel who made the confessions? I would think it'd be confidential.
Yes, so it was, up till some point, it was confidential, and then she asked them if they were okay with her publishing it, and she changed like some details and stuff and their names. So I started listening to this yesterday when I was journaling. I listened to, I think, 2 hours of it, and it's a full cast audiobook. So each story, each confession is made by a different voice fitting the story.
Okay.
So you hear the only things you know about them is their age and what gender they are. Then each story is basically just a confession. So far I've heard a mother tell the story of her young daughter that got a problem with her heart and had to be operated on very young. And the way she had to like pick out a casket and everything for her daughter just in case she would die. But she couldn't talk to other people about it because they would be like, you can't even think of this. You shouldn't think of her dying because you will manifest her dying. But she had to consider the option because she had to prepare for it just in case. That was one of the first stories, and it already had me like crying within minutes because it was very sad. Then the next story was about a man who had a very sad marriage and who started cheating on his wife, even though his father also cheated on his mother and he promised himself to never be like that. And I'm hoping there will be some happy stories in here as well, because so far it's been absolutely heartbreaking. I think people enjoy telling their stories without feeling judged.
Yeah.
There was one about a man who was transgender, who transitioned into male later on in his life because he waited until his mother passed away because she was a very devout Christian. I wanted to say remote Christian, but it's something else. She was a very devout Christian and she wouldn't accept of his identity, so he waited until she passed away and then he started transitioning to male. He told the story of how he found love as a man for the first time, as his identity, as the way he really felt as a person.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So there's some really joyous stories in there as well, hopefully more of those.
Yes.
So yes, a very intriguing read so far. And the cover is also beautiful. It's got like an orange on it. Looks really cute. Yes.
Lovely.
Okay, so we really hope you guys enjoyed this video. You enjoyed hanging out with us.
I had a good time.
So let me know in the comments down below if you want Julia to be back on the channel.
Yes, please let me know.
We hope you do, because we always have a great time filming together.
Thank you for watching.
And I'll see you next time. Bye!